How you all doing? How are you all doing? Okay. Well, at this point, I'm just going to give you a little of my expertise from this book that I wrote with collaboration with Professor David Locke, who did all the notations for me. And the importance of this was when I was young, I was looking at all these, listening to all this music, listening to all these rhythms differently being made up from our ancestors, laid down. But I find out very well that when ethnomusicologists, some of them visit Africa by then, in Ghana especially, they don't have the access to the language aspect of it. What they always do is record the sounds of the drums or the rhythms of the music and go. Why? Simply because all the master drummers by then, they did not want to open the language version for them. So it's kept secretly, and I know it took a lot of, travels and a lot of things for me to be able to get the language as I put in this book, the 25 language and the 25 songs on this Agbadza music. It's very important in a way how our rhythms and the structures of our music being done, especially in the Anlo-Ewe speaking people. So the topic of my thing is linguistic meaning in Anlo-Ewe drum patterns of Agbadza, this music. An introduction. In West Africa, Agbadza is widely regarded as the Ewe main type of music and dance. Agbadza originally began in the 17th and 18th century as a way to express sentiments about battles and warfare. Its songs and drumming talk about struggle, survival, leadership, bravery, patriotism, triumph, and death. Some lyrics in the book express themes of life and death, heroism, cowardness, and warrior, others for both male and female. As most of the time, most of the drums are mostly like a form of a pitch. And so the language is what you hear sometimes in the song. It's not exactly the language of the song, but there is more deeper idiomatic expressions behind that. So that's one thing about African drumming and singing. Agbadza poets songs of battle during tumultuous area of migration, conquest, imperialism, including the transatlantic Africa slave trade. Its profound themes make Agbadza suitable for performance, contemporary society, and occasions such as funerals, memorial services, and ritual of chieftaincy. Agbadza is usually performed outdoors, and most of the time when we're doing Agbadza, it's going to be something that we do in a circle. A big one with benches around it. We don't normally apply these chairs for it's a cycle thing, where everybody will be around, and we divide it in three formats. One, the drummers will be one position, and the other position will be the singers, and the third position will be the what? The dancers. So we have to have all this in three in African music, which all that happens immediately. What the dancing is doing. The dancers are representing what? The body movement in rhythm. And the clapping is doing another rhythmic aspect, adding to the actual drum calls. That makes it more solid in listening. Okay. Agbadza provides an instrument path into the heart of West African musical style Each songs are poems, and the tunes, whose beautiful patronage melodies add greatly to the overall rhythm power of the drumming. Human interactions, especially structure the singing. The basic idea is interchange between the song leader, which we call the hino. Hino is our song leader. He always brings the songs out and for other people to respond. And the hino particularly, those are the people who composes the traditional songs. Okay. Each Agbadza song deploys leader and a group in its own way among the aesthetic pleasure of the singing and the variety of giving and take in. The call and response, that is about the drum. Like I said yesterday, there's always African tradition. You have to have one drum, which is the lead drum, has to make the call, and for other ones to respond to it. Okay, so basically that's how the whole structure is being done in the African ensemble, especially in the traditional ones in the east coast of Ghana. The dance of Agbadza is the Ewe national dance. Why? Because if you go to Ghana right now, if you go to the west, you go to the east, wherever you see the Anglos, at the weekend, you will join them. They will be playing that, especially in the east coast. And then when you go to the west coast, the Anglos, they will travel all the places. You will see them. If any funeral or any gathering, and that means something musical, you see them with this music. That is why it's, kind of regarded as a national, dance. Now, in these instruments, there are a lot of things that I need to emphasize on. When we're talking about rhythms and patterns, I look at it personally that the sounds that comes off from each patterns has something to deal with rhythmically. So I decided to have something called, rhythms in vocables, patterns. So the pattern in the vocable, in the words that comes out, is what I look to get the language from. So basically, the whole idea for me on this book was relating to the old format of the way the music had been played and put in place, the timing, the rhythmic aspect of it, and the histories behind them. So that's what I was more interested in doing this research for this book. But it's very important. If I were not able to do that before now, there's supposed to be a lot of things that had to be very in bad shape as of now. Simply because I'm looking at it in this level. And during my generation, in the early 50s, the way these structures of this music is laid down, being played by the elders, is not happening now. It's totally off the track. Why? Because the older drummers, the master drummers, and all these things, formally all these perspective things that they do, they pass it to each master drummer in the area. So they don't just basically just, ask everybody to come and learn this part of the aspect of their secrecy in the music, in Anlo-Ewe drumming. So, by doing that, when people, most of them died, they died with the art. It's gone, it's no more there. So that's what happened. And I was very happy at the time to be with my uncles who were the top drummers and top master drummers that passed some of this information to me with a special restriction. The restriction on the rhythm and the language that was not allowed before is because there are a lot of what they call it, interaction in, they have what we call tribal confusions and certain type of disagreements in certain divisions. So what happens most of the time is like a pedology. So it's like composing a song, I get one division and that. So when they're doing that, they take certain words as abusive words and put into the drum. So the drummer has to make the phrase of that very specific words in the form of a poem to play against whatever. And with the song context, the same thing. So the composer and the master drummer, they work in this way. So sometimes the Heno will give instruction of certain songs for the drummer to play. So you can hear the direct language from the song part and the drum part. See, that's how some of those things are done. But what happens is only known to the secret club of the particular club, okay? So they know who they are abusing. For instance, if I want to accuse Carlos, because at that time Carlos became my enemy, and I want to disgrace all his family because he did something wrong to me. So I'm going to compose a song, very nice songs, against Carlos, put so many words in different, negative ways, create them, let them, the drummer play, and most people will be enjoying it, laughing and all that because they don't know the inside of the song or either the inside of the drum. Okay? If Carlos family will not know, they will be interested, but they don't know what is going on because it's secret. Okay? So this is some of the things why our master, the late master drummer, refused to basically give those things up. I was very happy, but that my uncle, first of all, let me take it this way. I was born with a drumstick in my hand, and find out from my ancestors, from my parents, they told me when they went to look back to find out what I am, they say I was God-gifted musician, so they should leave me alone. They didn't understand that. They went to another place. They found out the same thing. And when I was growing up, I went to do a fishing. One time, I decided just to go and do cast netting. When I went to do the cast netting, and I put the things in, when I threw the first one, that was a big stool, but I didn't know it was a stool. I was afraid. I thought it was a crocodile or some kind of an animal. So I ran away. So I went and asked my uncle that I went to throw my cast net, and something went up in the lake and went back. So I don't know that, so I don't want to go to it. So help me. So we took a boat, we went there. Not knowing when my uncle tried to build the thing up, he came up with a stool, with a drumstick, banded on it, with, thing. I still have that in Ghana. And most people saw it, those my friends like John Chenoff and all those, I showed it to them. So when my father found out what it was, they said, this is the gift of God to support my musical, expectations. Fine. So since then, any time that I'm speaking, as I'm here, I'm talking to you, still rhythms are coming in my head. If I take a drum right now, I should be producing those music. But by then, when I'm here, I wasn't thinking of any music. So I don't know if it happens to most of the professional musicians like that. So sometimes when the music comes into me, the rhythm comes in, then the language comes out. The rhythm comes in, the language comes out. But when I'm about to play, we're talking about improvisations and varieties, it just comes to my head of the improvisation might be coming, then what I do, I'll be writing them down and then playing them. When I write them finished, then I play them, then I put the language at the side. Then when I'm holding the drum, when I'm on the lead drum, the improvisation is just going like this. I have to play. There's no way. The mic is controlling me, it's not me. So that's the way I look about the traditional aspect of this music and rhythms and varieties of all these improvisational aspects of, every traditional music that I'm more concentrated on. Now, basically, what I decided to do was being taken to school. My idea when I was young, I had a dream that I would end up in a foreign country. Therefore, what I decided to tell my parents that I want to go to school. My dad said I had to go to fishing. I said, no, I'm not going to no fishing. I'm not going to be a fisherman. I'm not going to be a farmer. I'm not going to be a weaver. I want to be a musician. So you should leave me alone. Basically, that's what it was. So I started going to school on my own. Why? You have to learn how to write something and be able to translate. My focus going to school is to speak English, nothing more. Not mathematics, no nature studies, nothing. All I want to do at that time is to learn how to speak English and write English. Because I know other things are not going to let me go anywhere, but when I go to a foreign country, I'm going to speak English. So that was my idea. So after getting all this, what I did was I tried to write the rhythm when I go to my uncle because he had never been to school. So when I asked him a question, I put it over there. Whenever I ask a question, he give me the thing, I write it down in the Ewe format. Then when I get to school, I find the right word to translate. So this is how I started, gradually getting all these data together. Okay, then one time my uncle called me and said, Gideon, you always ask me to, give you all these things. What are you doing with it? I said, Uncle, one day you'll see what I will do with it. But right now, I don't have an answer for you. Okay. Recently, before he passed, the book was in progress. So I've given him some information about what I'm trying to do with what he gave me years ago. Okay, but still his name is there. He was the first person to encourage my idea of writing all these things down for the future. And he started with me before I went to other people to be open for me to get all this information. So it took me almost 25 years, basically, to get all this together. And it took me 15 more years to be getting the right person to work with to get this book done. And once this book has been done now, the paramount chief or the overall chief of my state of Anlo want this thing to be given to schools so the children have to start learning the meaning of the language of the music, learning the rhythm, knowing the history behind each song, knowing the history behind each music. Because never is done. All they know is they hear the drum and enjoy dance. That's it. If you ask them now, nobody. So in other words, what I want to tell you about this book is like, most of the time, you can't get the drummers, all the drummers in Africa. It's not all of them has the language to what they play. Only few. And those few will be those people who really work under their leaders of the drumming that had the language, or that had the history. You see? So most drummers, they call themselves master drummers. There you can hear 1,000 master drummers in America. It's not, being a master drummer, to my understanding, it's not a matter of you play the lead drum, and like in djembe music and ensemble, you play the lead and call yourself a master drummer. You have a lot of things to do to be a master drummer. In Institute of African Studies, for me to be made a master drummer by then in the university, I have to do more research work. I have to cover almost 5 or 6 regional drumming from Ghana, which I did, plus my own region, okay, to be promoted to that level, So that is why, if we could look at it yesterday, I started with a northern piece, which is a different tribe, and then I end up with my own tribe. Okay, and I can play from Ashanti, I can play from Western, whatever, Upper, whatever. That made me a master drummer, because I'm not only for one side. As I went all around to learn, other, and even though I went to other countries, like Benin, Togo, Nassau, Bahamas, to learn a few things, but those are the national ones that make me more international in terms of drumming expertise. So my idea of what I really wanted to talk about, mostly about the rhythms and improvisation, is it's a good thing that when I came in, I was listening to all that, and I've been watching all the Western notations and the values and how everything is done. I wish you see the most in Africa, especially in Ghana, our professors, there are not many who do more of these things. Except Professor Agawe and Professor Nketia and all, most people are in different terms. The musical aspect is losing, and Dr. Agawe alone cannot do it. Professor is almost getting to close to 100, is getting tired, and we need more of you who have the aspect to promote this, our Africans. Like how I could see the Arabs, I could see a lot of things that have been happening, and the way you have been putting all these things together nationally, internationally, and some other things. That is mostly why I'm very observing all that is happening here. So I can apply it to some of my other professors in this field to do more of our music to be expanded, like what I've seen so far today now. I've been seeing this during this week in Agbadza. I know we go to sometime to what they call it, African music societies, but this is something very special that I've been experiencing, how to take the music far from where we are so that other people can gain more access to it. So I think this is a very good, very good thinking of the organizers of this program. I don't want to speak too much, but now I would like you to listen and hear how this music, how it started, and how the bells, the dankokui, there are 5 instruments that forms Agbadza. The first one is the dankokui. The dankokui is the timekeeper. But the fashion is we use the dankokui to make an announcement for maybe if Carlos lost something right now he lost his mobile, yeah, he has to come to me as the chief of the town. Hey, Toby, I lost my cell phone. Please, will you ask the people if somebody found it to report it to me? So that's one aspect, the function of the dankokui. The second function is to keep the time for the music. So that's how the dankokui is being used. It's a metal being made by our blacksmith. And then the second one is the hache, which is the support to the dankokui. And also that, over here, that's the dankokui I'm talking about, this one here. That's the dankokui. And over here, that's the hache, that's the shakers, we call it shakers. Yeah, and this also have a 2 functions. Our composers use that to provoke their spirit for the composition of their songs. And then we use it also to support the dankokui in terms of our rhythm patterns. Now, in Agbadza, we have 3 drums here. The first instrument here is called kagan or kadan. That is the first support drum. Now, the one here in the middle is called kidi or ashiwi. That is the main response to the chords that we made. So, over here in this Agbadza ensemble, the sogo, the top one here, that is the one who makes the call. And this one is the response. Whatever this one says, this is one-way traffic, highway. Okay, he has no way to do any improvisation. So it's just one way. But over here, yeah, this one can improvise upon the bass. Always, before improvisation, you have to lay the basic rhythm before improvisation comes. There is no way you're going to do improvisation, without any bass. Nobody's going to listen to what you're doing. It will never happen. Okay, so you have to lay down the basic thing before you start to improvise on the basic. So at this moment, I would like you to hear how the dankokui, the hache, the kagan, the kidi. And the lead drum is what I'm playing myself. So you see how that works, and then the combination. So let's listen to this music on the first introduction of the Agbadza.
Dadaro, adaro he o, ahon bajigo he araro he.
Just of the Dangobe, Tati, and the Sagam. Those are the three going. That's the improvisation. That's the main. That's the main base, the basics. Improvisation. Yes. Those are improvisation. That is the basic. So when you hear this, the song is saying da da ra ro, hey. So if you listen to the word of the song, it's telling you that it's time for war. It's time for war. And when it's time for war, what are the warriors has to do? They have to what? Get prepared to go to the war. So that is all about this thing here. And then the Dankokui is saying, you should get out and see what is happening there myself. The Hache is supporting it. Quickly, let's get out and see what's going on myself. Now, the small drum was playing kadagang, kran, kadagang, kran, kadagang, kran. That's the rhythm pattern in the vocables. The language is miya. We're going to show them our braveness. We're going to show them our braveness. So because they're going to the fight. And then the lead drum comes in. Let's look back at home. Let's look back at home. And then the students say, let's go, look back at home. Because the enemies are attacking home, so we have to go right now and take the town back. So that's what's about it. So, like I said, this used to be a war music dance, which is now turned to more of funerals, because there's no more war again in the country. So it's more used now for national occasions, like even if we're having some visitors, we surround them and play that music for welcome and other issues also. So basically, that's what I'm wanting to let you understand, that all these musical aspects are very important in an ensemble forming, but most of the time there's history behind all these concepts. So that's what I want to present, and let me make it short for you guys. Thank you.
I think we have time for a very, very quick question, otherwise just over lunch. so that people will have lots of questions. Any questions for this quick one? Yes.
So you mentioned the language. The language that you hear may not be the language that's necessarily in the song. Can you just clarify that? That was interesting. So.
Oh, the language? Yeah, basically the language itself is what the song, like I said, it's a language. It's like da-da-ra-ro, that's the language. Now, the drum call, it says gazagada, gazagada, gazagada is the rhythm pattern in vocable. The language is wapagoji, wapagoji, look back at home. That's the language.
So there's
Yes.
like a back translation.
That's right.
Basically, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce, thank you, Gideon, once again.